Happy Wednesday, everybody. Whew, it was a beautiful day. I was out door knocking, and it was a gorgeous day. A little chilly, but when you're hustling up and down the street, you warm up, so that's a good thing. So I hope you are well here today. Want to update you on a few things out there. The election, of course, is a week away now, next Tuesday. And a couple of things that have been in the news that I wanted to touch base with you on. Let's go, probably the ballots. Let's start there because I think that's interesting. Mail-in ballots, right? There's the we still call them absentee ballots, but really they're not anymore because it's no reason absentee. So you can request a mail-in ballot. So our mail-in ballots, some of them are absentee and others are mail-in. So it's basically they're all the same thing anymore. So it's interesting. From what I can tell from my numbers, just in my district alone, 2 years ago, we had about 8,000 absentee ballots requested. This year, it's going to be well over 20,000. So a lot of people doing it. From what I read, I don't know how true this is. It's a heavily more Democratic voter who has returned, but that doesn't mean the others haven't. But from what I read, that's what they tell me. So I'll take them at their word. In the state of Michigan, the Secretary of State is saying that 3.1 million ballots have been requested and 2.1 million, I think it's up a little bit more than that today. I think it might be 2.4 now, have been returned to their local clerks. So 3 million, a little over 3 million sent. Just shy of 2.5 million returned, and we still have some time. Now, here's a couple things. One, this is just Jack O'Malley's advice, okay? You're at a point now, a week out, if you really want to make sure your ballot is going to count, is going to get there in time and be counted, because it has to arrive by 8 p.m. on Election Day. All right, I want to make sure everybody knows that. There was all that falderall that's been struck down. 8 p.m. on Tuesday of next week. Has to be there. So you can mail it. I wouldn't advise that now because, it is a week out. It might, show up on Wednesday. Oops, not good. So you can hand deliver it. Take it to your county clerk. Hand it to them. Many locations have drop boxes. So you can drop them in, usually right outside your clerk's office, because if you get there when they're closed. So you might want to call to make sure, but you can take it right to your clerk. That's probably the numero uno way I would recommend you do it. If you are going to have someone else do it, there was that whole question in law too. Our state law, which was upheld by the appellate court, says, you got to have an immediate family member of your household can take your ballot for you, but you can't give it to, the Schwann's guy or the kid down the street. That would be illegal. You've got to give it to an immediate family member to deliver it for you, okay? Those are the things I think that if you have not returned your ballot yet, you can mail it, but 8 p.m., right, on Election Day, it's got to be there. So hand deliver it, put it in the drop box, or have an immediate family member take it for you. All right. So I think those are important things. A lot of people out there who if you haven't returned your ballot, do one of those things and get it in. Okay. That's it's one of the things when my kids turned 18, and I think they thought I was a little nuts, but I took each one of them to vote. And it was an emotional day. I was like, my kid gets to vote today because I just consider it such an important thing for all of us to do. So I want you to vote. I want you to make sure you do it right, okay? And think. It's my responsibility to get to the poll. I'm going to vote in person. It's my responsibility to get there before 8 p.m. on Tuesday so I can cast my ballot. If I get there at 8:10 and the doors are closed, that's on me, right? So make sure your ballot gets to the polling place and your clerk. And you can also deliver it on the day of if you want to go in and hand it to the poll workers. You can do that too. All right, a couple other things here. on elections. The Court of Claims judge, if you remember, our Secretary of State, Benson, came up with this rule that said you can't open carry a firearm into a polling place, which everybody's like, oh, that makes sense. Here's the problem. There's an old, that's a solution in search of a problem. To the best of my knowledge, and I've been watching elections for decades, I don't think anybody's ever open carried into a polling place. My own opinion, just Jack, is our Secretary of State was hoping to stir a pot. I think she's hoping that somebody will do it and then we can call and say gun owners are crazy. That's just my opinion. I don't know. I don't talk to Benson, so I don't know. But that's just my read on the situation. And appeals court judges, though, struck that down and said that the ruling said that her rule smacks of legislation and went beyond the Secretary of State's ability. So you can still legally carry, open carry, and conceal carry if you're a legal permit holder. You can open carry into a polling place. I have a request. Don't do it. Even if you want to thump your chest and say, well, I'm going to show them I can do it. Don't do it. If you've never done it before, don't do it this year. Because there are people that would just love to say, see. If you've never open carried before into a polling place, don't do it this year, okay? Don't be goaded into doing something that can make us look foolish. So that's my 2 cents on that. Unfortunately, there probably will be somebody, and they can do it legally. So just remember that. On the flip side of that, just remember, someone can open carry into a polling place legally. So don't freak if they're open carrying, because it's legal. It's legal. All right? So, just FYI on all of that. Let's talk coronavirus here for a little bit, because kind of following up on Monday's comments, 1/3, that's the number I'm going to use, 1/3 of our society is vulnerable due to age or pre-existing conditions, that sort of thing. And we want to be respectful as good citizens, as good neighbors, as good Christian brothers and sisters, as good God-fearing, depending what religion you are. I shouldn't say that because you might have your own beliefs. So as good God-fearing human neighbors, we need to respect each other. So I ask that, we social distance, we wash hands, we don't get together in huge groups. If you see yourself next to somebody, oops, I should back off a little bit, because nobody wants the virus, because it's not fun, right? But things to remember about this virus, and I dropped my pen, but I'm probably not going to use it anyway. As of Tuesday, I don't have today's numbers, I'm recording this a little early. Tuesday, there were 2,367 cases, 28 deaths reported. Our daily numbers puts us at daily cases, puts us at 8th in the state. But if you look at cases per 100,000, we're at 27th on that list. Looking at cases just by number, Wayne leads the way with 227 that day. Oakland, 223, Kent, 218, Montcalm, 180. So again, our highly populated are having the largest numbers, right? There are some counties in the UP that are having some issues too. The point I guess I'm getting at again is, I remember Franklin Delano Roosevelt after the bombing of Pearl Harbor. The only thing we have to fear is fear itself. So ladies and gentlemen, I say don't live your life in fear. Live confidently. Be smart. Let's all be safe. Let's all be respectful. But let's live life. So I did another little check in here. And again, statistics are, you can play with them. But I just thought, all right, I'm going to look at the daily numbers for my district. Now, if you're living down in Oakland, Macomb, Wayne, a little different. But I'm talking about Northern Michigan, my district, 101st. I'm going to run through these relatively quickly. So far, Leelanau has had 152 cases, 2 deaths. Benzie, 124 cases, 2 deaths. Manistee, 136 cases, 3 deaths. Mason, 244 cases, 1 death. So then I thought, well, what about the contiguous counties that touch the 101st, right? So it's my district has what, 5, 6, wait a minute, 4, 5, 8, 10, 12. 12 deaths. Let's go with that. I didn't figure out cases. So the contiguous. Grand Traverse County, largest county in the north with close to 100,000 people. 788 cases, 13 passing. Wexford, 179 cases, 4 deaths. Lake County, 64 cases, 1 death. Oceana, 590 cases, 6 deaths. Newaygo, 630 cases, 3 deaths. So in 8 counties, 8 counties, 22 deaths. All of them are sad and tragic, and it's unfortunate. Of course, I don't know what the age and or health of those people were. Generally speaking, I believe, I'm going off memory, most people who die have some type of pre-existing type condition. My point is, the only thing we have to fear is fear itself. Let's be smart. Let's be reasonable. Let's respect each other. Let's be good, God-fearing people out there. And wash our hands, social distance, wear a mask if you want to. Again, I'm not for mandates, but I wear my mask, and that sort of thing. If you can't wear, and if you see somebody not wearing a mask, I always got to say this, if you see somebody not wearing a mask, let it go. Maybe they can't, and it's none of your business why they aren't wearing it, right? Maybe they have asthma, maybe they have this, maybe they were abused as a child and they get anxiety. Not your place to ask. Just go about your business, right? I think that's how we move forward, and that's how we should have moved forward. And I think about these numbers too. As we head into winter, we're going to see cases rise. Why? Because we have more testing. B, it's out there. We can't hide from the bug. If you want to live in your house, which some people unfortunately are doing, they won't go outside, then maybe you can escape the COVID. But there's a good possibility you might get it. So let's be smart. Let's move forward. And let's get her done, all right? And the election's coming up. Your responsibility to get your vote in, right? Make sure it gets there so you can hand deliver it now. I wouldn't recommend mailing, but you do as you see fit. All right, that's what I got for you tonight. Let's keep going. We are in this together. Might not seem that way, especially with all these political ads and let's use common sense. That's my motto. That's my guiding light, common sense. Have a good evening, everybody. We'll talk to you on Friday.